Hello everybody and thank you so much for joining me. This is Sierra from Sierra T Designs and today I have two simple Father's Day cards to share with you. So let's jump right in. So we're going to jump straight into the Copic coloring. You can see there that I have one card colored and it's green. The footage was lost, so sorry about that, but you're going to watch me color a whole bunch of cards. So there's no worries there, there's tons of coloring here for you. So let's start with the colors I'm going to use and then I'll tell you a little bit about why these cards are so simple. So to start with the greens, I'm using G05 and G14, and then I'm going to go into a light blue set, and the light blue is B04 and B12. And then I'll keep telling you what markers we're using as we go here. And super easy blend. I'm not even really blending it. I'm just adding a little bit of shadow anywhere that I feel it would look nice on the card. This is very simple. I just wanted to sit down and color and enjoy just the coloring and enjoy not having to worry about the design, because I personally struggle with masculine cards. I have a hard time figuring out what I think my dad would appreciate and what he might like to receive, and a lot of my stamp sets are a lot more feminine. A lot of florals and a lot of critters and that kind of thing. Not really masculine. I'll have to work on that for next year maybe, but for this year, I'm actually using two cards out of the Simon Says Stamp Suzy Celebrate Dad watercolor prints. So there's 12 cards in a pack, and they're like $10 American. And you just color them. You could watercolor them. You can see here that I'm choosing to Copic color them, but you can watercolor them. You could do whatever you like to them. You can also see every once in a while I'm going to pull in, I have a silver Sharpie marker, and it just adding kind of the chrome effect to the cards, which I thought was just kind of a cool detail. And I'll hold it up in the light at the end there so you can check out the chrome detailing. So now we're going to move on to the reds, and the reds I have an R08 and an R37, and there's no real rhyme or reason to what shadowing I'm doing. I'm honestly just kind of adding a little bit of a darker color to add a little bit of dimension to the car. I'm not worrying about a light source. Oh, there's my kitten Shade. He had to come help. I'm not worrying about a light source. I'm not concerned about where the shadow might actually hit on the car. I'm not worried about that. I'm honestly just picking two markers from the same color family and enjoying the process of coloring. That's all this card was for me, which I really enjoyed. Now we're on to the purples, which is a V15 and a V17. And I'm not going to show you the coloring on the other card, which is for my father-in-law. But it's the exact same colors. Other than for the bag, I pulled in a C3 and a C5, which I don't use on this card. But otherwise, the Copic colors are the exact same colors. And I'll have all the products that I use listed and linked below this video, as well as a coordinating blog post if you want to go and check that out instead of watching the video or after watching the video. That's always great too. So I'm just going to keep detailing the cards. There's not a lot of rhyme or reason to my coloring on this. Honestly, I just really wanted to sit down and do something kind of relaxing. I have a lot of cards coming up. I don't know if you guys know, but I was lucky enough to get into a sponsored hop this month, and I've been working really hard on that card, so it's been interesting trying to figure out how to use digital images and how to get the cardstock to print and how to do a bunch of things, which is coming up on a video near the end of the month. So I wanted to do something a little bit more simple, a little bit more laid back, and just enjoy coloring, which is one of the reasons I got into crafting, is because I just love coloring things. So this kind of made it a lot simpler. So for my oranges here, I have a YR14 and a YR16, and I just wanted to do something that kind of brought me back to the love of card making, because I find sometimes we get a bit hard on ourselves with creating, and sometimes creating can be difficult. Sometimes the ideas don't flow as easily as I would like them to, and sometimes it gets a little frustrating. And so I just really wanted to do something that was a bit more relaxing, and I thought the Father's Day cards were just perfect because it's something I struggle with as well. So I thought these were just so great. And so for the yellows, we're going to use Y06 and Y08. And that's our darkest color there. And then we're going to come in and I believe we do a dark blue set of colors. Yes, we do. So I do have cards that are dark blue and light blue. I just thought that they would be a great I love blue. I love all the colors. I shouldn't say that. I love all the colors. And I'm doing the cars on the side here, but I am going to trim this panel down. So I'm actually going to kind of lose some of the cars on the side, but I still colored them in because I didn't know exactly where I was going to trim. So it's hard to know what to leave until I've cut down the page, but we'll know here in the end. And then for my dark blue set, I'm going to use B16 and B18. And you could literally use any, you could do them all in grayscale if you wanted to and color the background. There are so many things you could do with this just to enjoy the process and have a little bit of fun. So I had a lot of fun with this. I think you guys would too. There's so many cards in that set. So if you ever struggle, and there's so many sets on the Simon Says Stamp website, there's so many of these sets by Suzy Planamera. So if you are ever struggling to find a card idea, or you just want to color them with some friends, or color them with your kids, or anything like that, or give them as a gift, I think they'd be a wonderful gift. And then you just color them in and kind of enjoy the process. So for the windows here, I did B00. And I did all the windows the same color. You could have maybe used, I pondered using a lighter color after I'd started this, but I was already going with it, so I just went with it. And you're not going to see it in the card because I kind of did this afterwards, but I also used a little bit of Glossy Accents on the windows once my ink was dry to give that kind of sheen that looks like windows. And that kind of goes with the chrome detailing I'm doing right there. And then to add a little bit of grounding to each car, I used C1 and just went underneath. I just went, like literally, there's no rhyme or reason to my shading here. I literally just put a line underneath the car. And that kind of helped ground them a little bit, make them look like they were a little bit more 3D. And that's pretty much the whole coloring on this card. Like, super simple. I don't think it even took me very long to get these done. I did two. I'm going to show you the second one as well, but I'm not going to show you the coloring because it's honestly the exact same. So we're going to jump right over to trimming them out, I think is next. Yes. So I did a black mat. If you've been here a minute, you know that I like to add a black mat to everything. So I trimmed down my black mat to be an 1/8 of an inch smaller than my A2 sized card. And then I'm trimming the panels on each side so that I don't lose too much of the pattern. So I did the panel is like an 1/8 of an inch smaller than my black mat. And I did that on both sets of the cards there. And I also used the Glossy Accents on the golf balls on the bottom of the card here for my father-in-law. And then I used my Nuvo Deluxe glue. You can see I'm getting low. I had to squeeze the bejesus out of it just to get some glue to come out. But it's hard when it's your favorite glue not to want to use every single drop in the container. But I do have one coming. Hopefully this week with my speckled egg distress oxide, which I'm super excited to get my hands on. And then, yeah, I just stuck them down onto my A2 size card base. I eyeball all of the size. Like, I don't measure much. I kind of just eyeball things, which sometimes works out, sometimes doesn't, but that's kind of the experience with card making, right? I mean, they're handmade. They should look a little bit imperfect, perfectly imperfect. So I glued down the second one, and then I'm going to show you a close-up so you can kind of see that chrome effect on the cars from that silver Sharpie. I don't know how well it picks up on the screen, but I thought it looked pretty cool on the cars. And then it's also on the golf clubs and the word dad in the second card here. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'd love it if you'd leave a like or a comment on this video. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I'd love to have you back. I post a new video every Monday. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.